dynamic stages as a community and with everyone in my life. And I've had this as a topic before. And my ideal intent is having like a clear path forward for each person to wake up, to clean up, to grow up, and to show up, and to design a path for everyone who's in the home or everyone who I interact with.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
And I'd like Cynthia support, who's also here in the home right now. I don't know for how long, but I certainly want to make it easy for her to be here longer. And I want to have people like well set up with her. There's several other friends who are joining as well.
Oh no, she's back.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I can't get view. It's going to keep switching back and forth. Oh well.
No, you can slide right to left, drag on your screen.
No,
You can't drag from right to left on it.
no.
Hi, Cray. It's good to see you.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're still on the planet.
You knew I was still on the planet.
Never know moment to moment. Oh, look at all the new things I have. Wait, how did that happen?
You can click on
Wait.
gallery, maybe tap the
Oh,
screen.
there's gal. I didn't know that you were supposed to be tapping on screen. Background and effects, raise effects. Stop. Come back here. Participants, mute, video. Oh, there it is. Switch to gallery view. Yay! But I can't move them.
I think if you click and hold them, you might be able to move them, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you hold it down, you can move.
No, never mind. Park it. Okay, what do we want?
I don't know. What has this been like lately? What have you been? I heard something about you wanting to optimize things for individuals or something, Alton.
I'd like to have people have paths around when they arrive. Are they in the waking up stage? Are they in the cleaning up stage? Are they in the growing up stage? Are they in the showing up stage? And to have some deliberate practices for them around those different areas, and to have you be somebody who can resource them. And like every month we have some like Sanha sit with you and have like more of an arc of an experience.
Oh. Yeah, it'd be really good if they could stick their finger in the computer and it would say, "You're in this stage," and they would be like, "Okay, great authority figure, I will accept this and I will do what you say," and then it will give them the program. That could be really something.
Well, that program is me right now, and it's working pretty well. I'd say
That's
a lot
fine.
of people are.
Yeah, so you could find a way to use AI to do that.
Yeah. There are a lot of programs and a lot of language models that can infer someone's level of development of where they're at, and then to give them more targeted practices to support them in receiving them there and to help grow up those parts together.
Mm.
And I think that would provide more targeted coaching opportunities and more overall ecosystems.
What are you delighting in there, Cray?
Oh, it's sort of like saying, you know what? We can just do the whole pregnancy and sex thing in labs. We don't actually have to be involved anymore. It can be really, really efficient. And I'm like, okay. I, I admire Alton for being willing to state what he wants and put it out there, and it's not my cup of tea. I'm like, I don't. I have seen so much of what I would call horror in my life built on the backs of, we know what's best for you. We know who you are. We know what's good for you. And you're going to do what we tell you to do. And, fascism in another word. And it's like, yeah, it's like I've been having this conversation with a person, and their definition of a good relationship is the one that gives them all the good chemicals. I'm like, what?
as opposed to the ones that evoke a juicy dance from you.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it could be, but it's like, yeah, I'm not. I talked to a woman a day or so ago, and she's in with what she calls climate justice, and she's working to try to get the northern. I mean, this is my languaging, to get the northern half to pay attention to what's happening in the southern half, and to the uh, make the horror less in some way or shape. And her idea, I'm probably wandering, and her idea is that there are these things called heavy users, I guess you would call it. They're extractors, I think she called them. There are heavy extractors and there are light extractors.
Mhm.
Okay. And so what she wants to do is she thinks that most of the climate changes due to these heavy extractors. So she wants to find some way to make them less extracting so that they can, calm down and do this. And I'm like, Einstein said that thing about you can't solve a problem at the same level that it's created. If all you're doing is moving that slider back and forth on the extracting thing, you're not addressing the issue of what is the extraction the answer to.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And so if you don't do that, it's the same thing. You're just having people say, I'm going to diet. I'm going to, they're going to use their will to do the thing, but they don't look at the obesity and say, what is obesity the answer to? Once you understand what that is, then maybe you can find another way to address the problem or the issue or the hunger or whatever. And so when you're looking at this and you're saying, oh, let's take all of these signifiers, and we're going to do what we can to crank them up a bit. We'll do exercises, we'll do this, and your score will improve.
Mhm.
And you're not paying attention to the taste of them.
Okay. How can I apply this to the house here with other people in here? I mean, I agree with this concept.
I think
broadly. It
I
rhymes
think
in meaning with Buckminster Fuller's frame on not bothering fighting the existing paradigm, but to invent a paradigm so much more superior. Everything just outmodes all the rest.
Yep. And so I think that this is again my woo assessment. You need a team of people who are more grounded or less self-identified with their characters, however you want to define it. Is that you can't do that as an individual. You need a team of people. You need a diversity of people, a diversity of come-froms in order to try to create that paradigm. So I think you're doing the best thing that you can right now. Is that you're trying to get people in here and you're trying to get them involved in becoming better. I don't know what kind of carrots you're offering,
Yeah.
and I'm a bit leery of the people who want to get the A in the class just to get the A in the class.
I have it that they also just really value growth and that they see that this is an incredible opportunity in space to enjoy that together. It's one of the most generalizable upstream skills and practices.
Yeah, but that's like saying people enjoy money. It's not the growth. It's the problem with self-reporting tests is that you're biased, and all the,
I mean, like you said, there's a taste of someone who has a certain taste and texture, certain people.
Mhm.
People who enjoy that growth will show up to this. I mean, Cynthia showed up to these for many months, and I have it that she also, my story is that she enjoys growth. I don't actually know that. I haven't checked out that assumption.
Yeah,
what the grasshopper calls growth.
yeah, I wouldn't call it growth. I enjoy openness. And in my experience, openness leads to change or insight or flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open. Do you experience you experience yourself as more open in these containers?
And no, more in these containers than in other containers. Yeah, I'm not sure what language to use to. Can you ask a different question?
What attracted you to come to these many times in a row from before?
It's different. It's interesting. I like the dynamic with Cray. I like how it focuses your way of being. Like it shines a spotlight on it, and which I find interesting. I enjoy it. There were I don't know what was going on when I stopped going. It was kind of like I wasn't enjoying it anymore, so I stopped. Yeah.
It's really fun dancing with you again and looking back and seeing how empty a part of my dance was because you weren't there.
Aw.
I did not notice it at the time.
No, it's very charming. But I could say a similar thing. Like there's something to being older and having years of different experiences and different dimensions of exploration and understanding and just having like something that you just know that the other person knows, but people who aren't your age or something don't know it, but you don't even know you know it until you're in a situation where it's evoked. Do you want me to say that more clearly? You look a little. Oh, he's tasting me, Alton. See the difference in me? I'm asking Alton if he can see the difference in you. Like, can you see the difference in where his locus of presence is?
Yes.
Last week, Cynthia, there was a woman, a female on here. I don't know what she calls herself. There was a female on here, and she was armored and straitjacketed, and then she wasn't. And Alton noticed. Alton noticed. It was. Yeah, he got another 2 years out of me for that one. Slimy bastard.
Oh.
Do you have any intentions of leaving the planet soon, Cynthia?
Not intentions, no, but I'm quite aware that I don't know when that's going to happen.
Do you know the rainbow has something to do with rainbows? This Tibetan Buddhist thing?
The Rainbow Bridge.
No, it's sometimes lay people will disappear. There'll be like a tooth left or something. And what happens is that they transcend all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, for some reason, that popped into my mind looking at you. So.
Yeah, I don't have any intention of that, but I feel like I do that on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
God, I wish I had a bigger screen.
Oh.
Yeah, but the awareness of death and it's so precious. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, this is not gonna last. This is amazing.
Mhm. There is such a feeling of Wyoming with you. Like wide open spaces. Nothing blocks the wind.
Mm.
It's just not a lot of reflected sound. They're really nice. Thank you. I think, Alton, is if you can get people, especially feminines, to get a taste of Cynthia, that will help your project.
Yeah.
Because in my world, what she's doing is she is being in a way that a lot of people don't ever taste. They don't even know to go looking for it.
That's right.
And so if you can, and it's
My plan was I was speaking with her today to have an interview or just to speak with her casually across the table with Sophia and myself and just to record whatever comes up.
don't I think it would work better if you and Sophia went on a walk with her.
That is technically an interesting puzzle or challenge for me to.
I'm saying.
Well, what we came up with, I think that makes the most sense to me is that once a month I come and we invite people to just come in to have a little satsang.
You
And
comfortable with that?
I've been doing it for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
With like rubes?
No, with people that I have been sort of connected with and leading or for, 10, 15 years like that. So I've known them a long time, most of them.
That's so to me, I'm like I hear satsang and I'm like, fuck that shit. Let's just go cook dinner. You know?
Well, what my definition, it's not the, the non-dual satsang, you are that kind of thing. It's more just being in presence and allowing what's arising to arise and meeting it. Right.
Oh, I can see you doing that. I can see you being very clear about what's arising and meeting that from a spacious place, from a non-constricted or non-reflective place. Like you're not going to be the reflection of that thing. You're going to be yourself.
Mhm.
And but for them to do that, I'm just like, geez, talk about pearls before swine. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think that there is what you were saying to Alton about the quality of being. I think there's an invitation in the like the mammalian
Mm.
relational um, mystery that when somebody is very deeply present and
I just want them to taste you. That's all. If they can get one little new taste bud popping up because of interacting with you, that's enough for me.
hmm,
That's it. That's all you need. Mm.
What are you tracking in your connection with Cynthia? There's like such a different flavor that you seem present to and I experience but don't have words for.
It's a lot of woo. So
Are you discounting it because it's
no, I'm just saying that it's not going to sound particularly grounded in reality, in your reality. I can make analogies, I can make metaphors, I can do something like that. But
I would say something like, Alton, you know what it's like to be in the presence of somebody who's tight,
Right.
like wound up,
Right.
anxious, tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opposite of that. Right? It's just,
I, the opposite of that is like in a coma. You're not in a coma. You have tension. You have friction, and yeah, it's the somatic experience is like I'm rubbing my chest against her chest, something like that. There's like and it's like when I put a little bit of a twist on the thing, there's a responding tension, and there's almost a noise. There's almost a hum of some kind. It's like it's like those Chinese finger the finger
Chinese finger
puzzles.
traps, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's not. It's like a tunnel between us, to me, or a conduit, or something
so
like that.
woo.
What?
That's so woo.
Yeah, I know.
Is that what I was describing? I think I wrote in the group thread that I experienced my life as like this enormous Chinese finger trap. The more I struggle, the more it gets me into whatever it is to be like grappling with reality.
Why would you grapple with reality?
It's like very enlivening for me. I feel like more tangible in my body. Like wrestling with beliefs to integrate them.
Grappling with ideas. I don't understand what's the grappling. Either it makes sense or it doesn't. And if it does make sense, then you incorporate it and try to practice being in alignment with it. What do you
certain things that are less black and white than that activate confusion, that are like just frequent, which I frequently experience just on the cusp of recognition or realization, and it doesn't make sense for a moment, but I have high confidence it's about to for many things. And then that's like the integration of it by like grappling with it or putting bandwidth on it, and then noticing when I pour awareness on this, there's some satiety or nourishment that happens.
How long does it last?
I mean, typically for the rest of my life. That's why I generally feel really full on life perpetually. And then like it's after you've eaten a great meal and then you're presented with this new dish and you're like, oh, I thought I was full, but now I'm like hungry for a couple more bites of that. And then you have that and you're like, okay, now I'm full. And then like hours go by and you're like, oh, well, now I'm hungry for this other thing.
So it's sort of like a progression.
I don't really orient towards it like that. It's just like I have appetite for different flavored types of things. I have appetite for these windows with time with Cray, and or this I have high appetite for time with Cynthia especially when she's here in the house, then I'm like, oh, I feel voracious for that. And for quality time with her, and I feel like voracious for like opportunity to support or serve.
Look who's here.
Oh, goody. I get the yin and the yang.
Jesus Christ. God. Oh, wow, what a great comment. Oh, like I felt like I didn't know I was hungry for that metaphor or that analogy until just now.
Look at that. Look at that gorgeous double white-sided rainbow there. What does that mean?
Huh?
The rainbow behind you with the white on either side.
It's it's a Tibetan. It was a blank Tibetan prayer flag, and on our first anniversary, I put on one side there's the elephant, on the other side there's the rabbit. The rabbit is Jane, and there are 6 or 7 different significant events in our first year together that I put up, that I made black line drawings on.
Did you do them in the order of the chakras?
No, I did them in the order that they occurred, left to right.
I see. And then it looks like it came out in a perfect rainbow.
Yes.
But that wasn't on purpose, or
that's the way they made it.
Oh, they made it. They already made it that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. It's interesting. It makes me think of how when you add all the colors up in balance, you get white light.
Did you ever read the science fiction story, I Have No Mouth, Yet I Must Scream?
Yes.
That is my experience of you.
Yeah, there's a worse book I can send you if you like.
No. I find it very difficult to be with you, Hunter.
Yeah, I've gotten this sense. I've had that effect.
Mm-hmm. My interpretation of you.
Well, I had fun doing it, and I felt like I had permission to do that, which was something I appreciated about your space. That's sort of why I came here back in the day, you know.
Back in the day.
Yeah, Cynthia, when we were young.
Could you help me out here, Cynthia?
I'm curious what made you come on, Hunter.
Thank you.
I'm sort of out of date. I've developed some different tendencies, and I sort of just want to see them in action.
Well, my experience of you is you seem a little more, just as my eye, or a little more in your body. A little softer, a little more grounded, a little less orchard.
Orchard.
Yeah, I mean that might not be a good word, but like energetically at odds with something.
I mean, it sounds kind of like my name.
Hunter, tortured.
I thought you said orchard. Did you say tortured? Hilarious. I got that from Alton. I picked up that meme from him. Every time I say hilarious, I'm like, ah, oh, there goes a sticky fellow.
Oh.
I guess you could say it landed.
Yeah, so that now you just went away from what I was pointing to.
I went away from the embodied sort of feeling.
And then you just manipulated yourself back into it, or the appearance of it.
Manipulated, that's an interesting word. I got off the call with Elliot. Elliot was giving some extraordinarily powerful sort of meditation instructions. It's been a trip. But I don't know, I feel malleable, so I feel like I wouldn't think of it as manipulated. It's just sort of, I do have more access to my body than I did. And I have pretty reliable access to it, actually. It's been a very transformative time.
What are you doing, Craig?
Praying. I am in the face of Hunter. I am trying to not. I'm trying to stay centered, grounded.
What are you tempted to do that you don't want to do?
Stop him from. I want to stop him from screaming.
By covering his mouth, by like giving him words, by
Probably by a large dose of fentanyl.
you would like feed him fentanyl.
I think the only way that I could accomplish stopping him from screaming is to render him unconscious.
But fentanyl would like kill him versus like morphine.
No, I wouldn't want to kill him. I would want to be very clean. That's why I wouldn't use morphine or an opiate.
Do you have any sense of what Craig's talking about, Hunter?
I think he thinks of the fires of grace as the fires of hell, which is a standard Christian teaching. They're the same fires, but experienced through different lenses. And what is hell for one is transformative for the other.
So you think Craig experiences you in a hellish way, and he could, if he changed his glasses, experience you in a heavenly way?
No, I don't really mean his experience of me. I mean, if Cray were me, he would be screaming. I mean, that's basically what he's just said. But I'm not Cray.
So you feel like Cray has a projection of the hellishness and the giant scream that you are, but you don't experience yourself as a scream.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a really excellent read on the structure of the personality and how it functions and how it relates to the world and to other people. But the structure does not reveal to him the qualia from the inside.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer. That feels really clear to me, Hunter, and it felt like it came from more like your belly.
I was interested in bringing some more of like the power dynamic games that Hunter brought to our time in Puerto Rico to more of my everyday life, where I can more explicitly name those in connection or in conversations with other people, so they like lose their power or stop being played through us unconsciously. I was also interested in how we can bring in Keegan's stages of development or spiral dynamics for like even conversations like this by naming or labeling where we project each other at, in the same way that Cynthia, you often will like point out what Enneagram type you think somebody is and how it can explain certain behavior. And I would like that to be more of a default culture in our house as well. I'm particularly interested in like Cray's assessment of what you see in spiral dynamics from that lens. You said you studied a bunch of Cook writers' work.
Yep. No, Jane's the expert in that. I don't like human development in that. So I'll read up on something to talk to somebody about it and then do my best to forget about it.
Do your best to forget about it.
Yeah.
But you read about it because then you like integrate it and it just fades
No,
into
no, 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 no. I put it, it's like I used to take tests in the Navy. I used to cram all the information in for the test. I take the test and then it all goes.
because it falls into unconscious competence domain.
No, because I don't want it in my head.
Because unconsciously competent is what I'm imagining.
I don't know what that means. I don't like having a lot of other people's maps in my head. I like to rely on my science.
Can I ask, is there a quality of difference to the sound you guys are hearing from my square, so to speak? Because I just turned off the heater.
Yes, you sound much more rich and full.
I'm going to turn it back on because it's cold.
Hunter's really good at that power dynamic stuff. I don't know what he's done in the last however long it's been since I was present with it, but he has a lot of skill in that thing. So use him. Don't have sex with him, but use him.
Where are you these days, Hunter? Where's your body living?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, where the winds come rolling down the plains, don't you know?
Oh man.
I'm curious, Cray, like where is the rub for you with Hunter? Is it
It, so I can speak in metaphor. He sounds really bass, but when I listen to him, there's a high-pitched noise in the background.
Mm-hmm. That's magenta.
Like that.
Like Alton's chair. That's perfect. Elliot and I were just talking about this because he's an advanced meditator, and I was like, teach me. And he said some brilliant things. And one of the things we talked about is that magenta is the reddest red and the purplest purple frequencies of light that are visible to us, and nothing in between. It's the lowest low. He just said the base. Are you still there? It's the base and the
I've never
highest.
seen you make that face, Cray.
That's magenta.
Because he's doing it again.
That's Buddhist.
And I find that stridency is the best word I could have on it. I find it a pitch that's hard to dance with. Like with Cynthia, it's like this sort of rolling, bass notes or whatever. And then Hunter has this like bass-like quality to him, and yet there are these, to me, my projection is that there are these spikes. And that's how my interpretation of Hunter is. And so it's really difficult for me to it's sort of like, how you can squeak a balloon?
Mhm.
It's sort of like talking to somebody and every third or fourth word they go squeaky, 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 or they, pull their claws down a chalkboard.
Can I comment
Yeah.
on that balloon one?
By all means.
Am I wrong in thinking that the balloon, like quite literally, it has that very high pitched sound and that very low pitched, like wah wah sound at the same time? It's like the same shape again, man. You've got it in the sounds and in the low pitched, high pitched.
I just don't know. It's like he's every other word he's switching language. No, every third and fourth word he's switching languages, and it's close enough together to where I can sort of figure out what he's saying, but not quite. So it's too much work for me.
It's interesting. I appreciate you articulating your experience because I feel resonant with it. Hunter, when I was commenting on my experience of you and how I feel you more embodied and kind of softer and less, I use the word whispered, but I mean like I experience that you have some like some parts that are just frenetic or used to be more frenetic. And
Or
they
used to be?
seem
You say, or used to be more frenetic?
to be more frenetic.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to articulate that to you, and I felt you receive it, and then it felt like you did one of those spikes,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
this is gorgeous.
and then when I pointed it out, you were like, "Oh, I'm up here. Let me come down here again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So
is the slingshot.
yeah, and I used the word manipulate because it seemed like a conscious choice on your part.
Yes, there is a certain responsiveness. I can regulate my mood better than I used to. And the shape you described, I mean, it's incredible. It's, you know how you get into orbit around the planet and it's frictionless. There's no pain and there's no contact and there's no friction. There's basically no you. And that's well and good and all. But if you want to like pick up speed and energy, you perform a slingshot maneuver and then you harness the power of that peaceful state and then you channel it to, you know, trying to do better, basically, trying to make yourself and your environment better. And that has a lot more friction and so more fire in it. But there is a way to do that that is not hell. It is the same fires, but received differently. And this is a standard teaching in something like the Christian tradition. And according to Eliot, something like the Vajrayana Buddhist school. Like,
so I think what I hear Cray pointing to is this language switching. The way I would articulate what I feel like I have the same beam that I'm tracking to. It's kind of like from whence you're speaking. So you might be speaking a few words from your body, and then it's like you end up in your associative cortex or something, and then there's like a program that goes like, nail that, say that the right way, find the, and then it's almost like you hear your speech, and then it's like you get into the floweriness of how you're going to speak, and
yeah.
so it's kind of like, and I think that bumpy ride is not Cray's favorite.
Yeah. I can see that. You're exactly right. It's choosing a trajectory and then hitting the target, and then choosing a trajectory and then hitting the target, and you just repeat. But maybe it's too fast or something.
It may be too fast. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
For me, it's difficult to dance with somebody who I think is trying to prove a point all the time. Like there's a lot of things that you say that land to me as pretty accurate, but my interpretation of you is that you're less interested in what you're saying than how it serves to get you a point. Like to me, if I was to see you dancing with Cynthia, I think that I would see you making points rather than being in a dance with her. That's just me.
I think that would describe perfectly how I have mostly perceived you in the past, Hunter. I think there's less of that. I don't know that that's true, but it seems like there's something settled. And I do still see what Cray's talking about. It's almost in the way I'm seeing it in my like cognition is like a blooming of your associative cortex. It's like you go to a certain something, some sort of like a base camp or something in your brain. Once you get to base camp, then it's sort of like, and you leave home.
That's very resonant. Yeah, it's like a circuit.
Don't stop. Don't just stop there.
Yeah, like if you stop
Just
there,
stop at resonant. Because to me, what you then do is you try to prove that you understand what she's saying, but you're going to
Yeah.
reframe it somehow in a better way.
Yeah. Well, this is super me, very much so. That's very on point. It's I feel like, or do you feel heard? How do I know? How do you know that I'm listening to you? Let me say back to you what you've said. Now you know that I was listening. But if I say it back word for word, well, you know I'm listening to the words, but do you know I was really understanding you? So I have to make sure to say it back in a different way. And now you know I was listening, and we're like,
I don't care.
Nice conversation.
I need to go get another blanket. I'm listening.
I don't care if you repeat back to me or demonstrate your verbal understanding of what I said. I'm not interested in that at all. I'm interested in how you're going to dance with it. Oh God, Elliot too? Seriously? Seriously, Alton?
Yeah, well, I noticed, so I spoke with Elliot and Hunter beforehand about, I wondered what has me hesitate or like not be like, oh, obviously, definitely, I want to have all of us in the same room. And I was wondering what about that? I wanted to explore my aversion to that. And like, what about that is where I feel closed. And that feels very unusual to me. Normally, I feel very open for like almost everything.
So we're guinea pigs for you?
No.
Yes.
But we're going to set things up so you can explore yourself. We're here.
The point of his call. I'm pretty sure.
I'm here. The point is, I'm here because Alton wants me here. That's the point for me.
Well, I'm
the rest of you, Craig.
I think Alton wants me here. Alton, do you want me here?
I wanted to hear. I wanted to explore like what comes up for me in connection with you guys when I make up that I experience myself and or you as like more difficult to be with in a space. I was just sharing this with you like 2 hours ago or an hour and a half ago. And I don't know what it is about this dynamic, but there's something that's irksome to me or frustrating to me.
He's the complete opposite of your character. What do you mean you don't know Elliot by any way? Hunter's a distant relative, but Elliot's like completely different than you. He's a different species.
I don't know what that means. I mean, there's a lot of overlap in our voraciousness for learning and growth and mindfulness investments. Both of us are also interested in different coaching modalities.
Got my ears so that I'm an alien or something like.
Good old I resonate with the parts that you said it was like a clown or a buffoon part, and I'm like, oh, I also do that, and I like.
No, you don't. You do not do clown makeup. You don't do hats like that. You don't do backgrounds like that.
I like Cray advocating for Alton. That's a new side of Cray.
Elliot,
Cray is pro Alton today.
Elliot to me is very much like Hunter in a way. He has a great set of skill sets. He is very, very good at what he does. Would I want to have sex with him? Absolutely not.
That's okay, Cray. I also don't want to have sex with you.
Well, that's my measurement of people's embodiment. If they're really embodied, I want to have sex with them.
Oh. That's
So there's like a set of curriculum or criteria we could have in this house such that everybody would want to have sex with us as a house or every housemate in this space. You seem to be not.
No. It's an interesting goal. I think that you know, at the very least, just being honest about what it is and who it is you want to have sex with would be a great place to start. That level of sex where you want to have sex with everybody is in my world, that's such a far thing to get to, even in a tantric practice.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was on a walk with Mylan and Eden exploring like what is the tantric practice. I want to check out your opinion on if it's basically edging yourself with every stimuli you ever experience.
You don't have to edge. That's a Western adolescent masculine orientation.
Okay.
You could watch Cynthia do it. She wouldn't be edging.
Okay. Also, can you
Hunter, stop
keep the
nodding. I'm
microphone so it's
beginning to
not
change
like
my opinion of you.
some- hearing your mic, I think like scratch something or like scrape
Yeah,
it.
it's scratching my.
Okay, got it.
You got misophonia? Does that bother you?
A little bit. Yep.
Oh,
But
good.
Elliot, say the thing
I
about
have
the
practice
ears.
edging with.
Sorry, Hunter.
Say the thing about the ears.
Which thing?
About the high pitch and the low pitch.
That was your language.
How did you
Oh.
put it?
Oh, I mean, Alton, do you want to fix your, what did you call it? Something?
Misophonia?
Misophonia.
Well, I do. I mean, I don't know if I want to orient towards anything as like a fixing frame, but I'm just also noticing that like when you guys start speaking, I'm like, I notice Cray like looks like he's checking something else, and then Cynthia's still like not engaged, and I'm like, oh, these are like signifiers to me that I'm like, why? I don't know what happens such that this occurs more frequently when I have you on here, and I don't know why that is, but I want to learn more about it so I can like more skillfully grok that.
I'm gonna play with this. I have a story that Cray is jealous.
Elliot is a character.
I'm a character.
That's how I experience you. I experience you as having a structure that presents as a character.
Interesting.
So there's like this sense of like, oh, if I touch there, he will squirm over here and make a little dance to take the attention to that thing. And then if I go to that thing, then you would go to another thing. There's a kind of slipperiness, I think.
So I imagine it's just like not engaging for you to interact with. So like what?
No, really, I was really cold and I got a blanket and then I got a text and I wanted to read it, and that's.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, I mean, okay, all right.
To me, Alton, the difference between me dancing with Cynthia and me dancing with Hunter or Elliot is they're brilliant technicians. And Cynthia is a brilliant human being.
I am proud to be a brilliant technician, and I'm not sure if I know the difference. I hear that, Cynthia, you say that I'm slippery, or you experience me as slippery. Is that true?
I experience you as having a consciousness of how you are appearing and manipulating yourself to appear however it feels right for you to appear. Sort of like a chameleon quality.
I'm super surprised because I usually think of myself as being really bad at managing my appearance and like being pretty bad at presenting, like if I want to be professional or something, I'm pretty bad at appealing to that image. So I'm surprised that you say that.
Does anybody else see any of that, or am I completely off?
I think you're bad at it because that's not what you want to be. This thing that you're doing now, this character, this is the one you want to present. If somebody asks you to be businesslike, you're going to have problems with that because that's not something that you want. Alton, remember what Francesca, what was her name? Remember how she changed?
Yes.
What chance do you think that Hunter or Elliot are going to undergo that kind of change? In this call?
She literally messaged me right now, so we're about to find out is what I make up.
No,
but I would say low.
I'm asking. Yes. So when I'm dancing with Cynthia, there's a great chance that kind of experience is going to happen. That kind of experience is really tasty to me. The way that these two guys are, I will send people their way to do their technical specificities.
Hmm.
But I don't. If I dance with them, I feel like I'm going to get one of these TP dances with them.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to get an embodied dance and return with them.
Cray, I'm noticing that I don't know what whoever Francesca's transformation was. I'm noticing I don't know what a TP dance is. And I notice that you're referencing things that are outside this room in a way that I can't follow. And my hunch is you're doing that on purpose to keep me out of the aliveness of the conversation. And I'm wondering why you're doing that.
I'm doing it because I'm talking to Alton about something that he can reference. I don't really care if you understand what's happening.
Yeah, I hear you don't really care about me. And
no, I didn't say that. I don't care
okay.
about you understanding this.
I'm okay with you not caring about me, but I'm being clear about what I'm feeling in this room.
This is your. So, are you feeling it like you would feel the temperature, or are you feeling it like this is what happens when my interpretation goes this way? These feelings arise in me.
I know what I can feel.
And you're not answering the question.
And I know what I can hear.
Are you feeling it like you would be feeling the temperature in a room? Or is the thing that you're feeling the result of your interpretation of what's happening?
I'm not really listening to your gibberish. I'm paying a lot more attention to how I'm feeling. And how I'm feeling is there's a movement here that Cray is trying to exclude me. And that's okay.
I'm not trying to exclude you.
Great.
I'm talking to Alton.
I hear your words. I hear your words, and I'm reframing the conversation to invite you to include me. If
I don't want to. I'm talking to Alton.
Okay.
I'm a little confused about that too.
So,
it's pretty clear. I feel like I'm tracking what Cray was saying.
Okay.
You want to communicate something to me about it? That seems reasonable.
Sure, if I wanted to, Cray, if you want me to do a transformation, you got to give me a clue here. If you want,
I don't think he's interested or invested in your transformation.
Right, you just want me to sit here so that you can say about how I'm not transforming, and you don't want to tell me how to do it.
No, I'm not.
That's very helpful, Cray.
Wait, you didn't say that either. Yeah, I'm confused. I was surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the transformation is. You can give me a clue. That would be appreciated.
May I?
Please.
I think Elliot, we were talking about. It seems to me that Cray was drawing the distinction between raw sensory data and the meaning construction that requires an identity and a narrative. And so he was saying that the origin of your disapproval or whatever it was ultimately a sort of arbitrary construction not found in the real world of sensory data.
If that lands, I'm going to hate you forever, Hunter.
I mean,
I swear to God.
How many layers of construction am I making when I say those things? I don't know. I can understand Hunter.
What I sense is that you didn't like that Cray was talking to Alton about you and Hunter, almost as objects rather than subjects. He was using you in his teaching.
Yeah, there's a sense of rejection that I feel in response to being talked about and talked around in a negatively judgmental way as well. Like he said, Elliot's not going to do something or other that Cray seems like he values some particular transformation. And he's decided Elliot's not going to do that in this call. And he's not telling me how to do it. So he's judging me as wrong and then rejecting me for something that is, in his opinion, just how it is. So that's not him, and I won't put it onto me. And I'm giving it back to him because I don't want it. It's yours, Cray. You can decide that I'm not going to transform or something, but you're going to have to suffer with that in the world. And I'm right here. So if you want to join me in my world, you're welcome to transform yourself.
I don't want to join you in your world.
Are you afraid of joining me in my world?
No, there's nothing. There's no carrot.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't trying to sell anything.
But the reason I'm going to make a conscious choice about doing something is because there's a payoff in it for me that I want, a carrot.
Right. That you can see.
Yeah, that's the only
You
way
can
I
only-
have about making choices.
You can only go to carrots that you know are there. That seems pretty boring.
Yes, it does.
What about
Uh,
carrots you don't know if they're there, that you might
that-
to get there?
If I learn to speak Urdu, I might have a really wonderful experience from what I know of Urdu. No, thank you.
I don't know much about Urdu.
It's yes,
Cynthia,
you're
what's
right.
going on for you? I'm interested in what's going on for you.
I am, well, there's a lot. So, and it went in a sequence. First, I was like, really, guys? Really? This is what we're doing? Yeah. And then I thought, no, I think it'll shift. So that's where you asked what was going on for me. That's where I was like, oh, I think this will shift.
I'm curious, what sort of shift are you? Where do you want to go?
My experience, especially now that Frederique is on the call, there's a beautiful feminine in the corner suddenly with a delightful presence, and she's affecting Alton and affecting the whole field. But we're not mentioning it. We're not welcoming her. We're not saying anything. We're just doing this thing. So my experience is like there's a lot of energy that's head energy. There's a lot of like power center energy that's like wah, 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 wah. And then there's my energy that just likes to be kind of peaceful and open and I felt like we were having a really not productive conversation, but like interesting conversation and I felt like we were handling it. We were all dancing fairly well together. And then when you arrived, I think it overwhelmed the system, or it added too much of some particular thing, and it kind of queered the whole thing. And then Frederique showed up, and now here's
Justin.
Jason. So it's just from my system, I'm tracking so much shit that I'm not even trying to track, that it gets a little overwhelming, and then I just want to shut down.
Oh, I hear that as don't invite as many people next time to have more.
No, I'm just expressing what's happening for me in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have Cynthia's systems all online and like available for this, and I'm hearing that it's like hard to ignore. I used to put post-it notes on the screen for people I didn't want to be or like impacted by on Zoom calls, but
Yeah, so for me, it's not an individual. It's a field. There's a field here that we are co-creating.
Like a group dynamic, yeah.
And when there's flow between participants and there's receptivity between participants, there's an alive field of energy and information and intelligence.
Yeah.
So just to translate for myself, you're looking for more of an alive field and more of a flow? Is that correct?
I enjoy flow.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy flow. And for me, flow doesn't mean like just flow. It means like, oh, now it's like this, now it's like this, but we're all sort of on the raft together or something like that. But when there's dissension, when when it feels like maybe like someone is like the power centers, that's what it felt like. It's like, I'm not going to relate to you except through my power center. To me, that's a dead end.
Oh, that's beautifully said.
You'd be amazed at how much fun we men have with it, Cynthia.
I have observed that, Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is a dead end. I'm curious about what makes it a dead end in your experience.
Or
I just don't know.
A narrower bandwidth than what I most enjoy.
You mean just the power center?
Yeah, because it feels
Majority
like
of the power center, right?
there's like a limitation to it. I don't not like it. I mean, I power is power, and those dynamics go on, but it's not as interesting to me as tenderness, openness, honesty.
So maybe we'll change the thread around. I wanted to invite Justin explicitly. You recently had some time with Cray, and Cray invited you to get more involved with some of
this morning. Yeah.
Justin, you're not supposed to mention my name. You own it as if it's yours.
Yes, and following Cray's instructions are exactly how you do that.
And so I had an interest in like evoking those frames of what Cynthia has high appetite for in this container. You mentioned some things that I also resonate with around expressing anger more in flow or gracefully. That's not actually what you said, but
yeah, I can say for myself.
Presence. Yeah.
Yeah, expressing anger, that is not part of my primal character. And so that's one thing that I want to work on. Also, this annoying smile that I like that. I'm snapping the band to prevent myself doing that. Yeah. So finding ways as an outlet
Are
too.
you talking about your own smile?
Yeah.
I
So
noticed
that's
that
one of the
feels harsh
things
to
that,
me.
sorry.
I noticed that feels harsh to me.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I think I understand maybe where you're coming from with it. Like you want to be less, I don't know, what is it that you don't like about your smile?
I think I kind of deploy it as this like distraction mechanism when I'm talking to people. And it kind of takes away from my sense of feeling being heard or being taken seriously, or other people taking me seriously. And actually, the feedback that I got even at work was you need more, quote, executive presence. And my interpretation of that is the standard, well, not standard, but being able to be with my anger and express that in ways that I can't hide with the smiles.
Why don't you just add more executive presence and see what you end up doing, whether it's smiling or not?
How do you add more executive presence?
Yeah, what is the definition for you for executive presence? Because I believe everyone has their own identity when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's still something that I'm thinking about, but it feels to me like it's the opposite of this primal character that I've been walking around with, where it's the people think that I'm like the little kid that I'm not a little kid. Oh, that's the first question.
Did it again, right there.
Okay.
I'm not a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the little kid that tries to look good in front of people or cares what other people think about him. And the executive, I guess the positive version of that is the person who can do things because they want to do it and they believe in themselves and they don't care about what other people think of them.
His smile, to me, his smile's akin to flashing his tits at people.
I imagine a lot of people get a lot done for themselves by flashing their tits around.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to like take away his superpower.
Smile, by the way.
It's a good smile, yeah.
Yeah, the tenderness I feel is like we all have, we all were children and we all have memories of being little and pleasing people by being sweet and flashing a smile. And it's a neurological function and you're aware of it now. And but to harsh it, it just feels harsh to me. It's like it's a function. It served a function and you want to not use it so much anymore.
Yeah, because for me it was a protective mechanism. I mean, I grew up in a very unsafe, emotionally unsafe household, and so the way that I got around that was being the kid that my mom wanted me to be. And that was yeah.
Your mom's not named Tina by any chance.
No, but I've gotten that before. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So the smile, what's the angry response to Alton's question?
I'm tired of hearing that same fucking woman come up in my life.
Wow, super toxic.
No, to
That
you
was acting.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, just like unnecessary.
Perhaps to me, it's a breath of fresh air. It's joyous. It's cause for celebration. It's like that is so goddamn beautiful that he was able to articulate that in a way that his primal character says you can never say that. And he's taking a step up and he's owning the things that he could never own before. Now, granted, he probably doesn't want to say that if he's trying to influence Alton or do something, but as a practice, as a way of growing his own vocabulary, growing his own emotional competency, I think it's a gorgeous thing.
How do
I
you
don't
feel
think
about
it's
having said that, Justin?
How do I feel about that?
How do you feel about having said that? I see you look down like you're a little ashamed. It's my projection.
Yeah, I mean, I've never said that on a live stream in Facebook before. So that's yeah, I mean, my culture doesn't support saying things like that. So to me, that was sheer acting in the name of growing in some dimension.
And how do you feel about having said that?
Somewhat proud. There's some sadness. I mean, scared. Yeah.
I hold the general theory that you didn't actually learn to do that for the long term because there was no emotional reward for doing so. You got Cray to say, I like that, but in you, you've kind of felt a bit bad. This is my story, right? You felt a bit bad about it, so you've done it once, and now you're more allergic to it because it didn't go as well as it could have. And so we haven't actually taught you to grow. We've taught you to be allergic to that sort of growth, according to Cray's opinion that that's the sort of growth. I don't know if it is, but I don't actually know. Do you feel like you'll do this more now that you've done it once or less?
I mean, it seems like you're trying to impose a certain dimension of growth on me that
Oh my God!
I
Yes!
may not want to adhere to. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Good. I agree with that. I'm in support of you stepping up and reframing like that. Absolutely.
I dare you. I dare you, Justin. I dare you. I'm supporting you in that. What are you going to say to that?
Are you scared to grow in other dimensions?
As in, you're asking me?
Yeah.
What am I scared of? I'm scared of being like my brother when I was 10 and under. And so, yeah, there are dimensions that I don't want to be. For sure.
What was your brother like?
He was a jerk.
What does that mean?
He was mean, he was violent, he was cruel, he was deliberately manipulative, I'm still angry about some of the stuff.
So
I'm dropping out of Derek content because he's not in this room, right? I feel a little bit of lack of respect to say these things. But I'm still hurting about some of the stuff that happened. And so, yeah, I don't want to go into that direction. I think that disempowers me and gives me a lack of ability to be some of those things, but I still don't want to grow in that dimension.
I just hear a deep sadness in your voice.
Mm.
Also this protective part that doesn't want to become like your brother.
Totally. Absolutely.
Are you okay with that protective part guiding your life?
Oh, you bastard! You little shit!
I struggle with it, but I'm also grappling with not using violence on violence against myself. Like being violent against that protective part feels like more of the wrong thing.
Why
And
do you
so
have to be violent against the protective part?
in terms of like countering it, like being stronger than my bully doesn't seem to yield being better than my bully. Right, because I want to be better. I don't want to just be a bigger bully.
You want to be both, though, a bigger bully and better.
Well, I also don't want to need to be a bully. I want to be able to be better in such a way that I don't need violence.
Do you
Silly
think your
aspiration.
do you think your ability to do that could be limited by underdevelopment in the opposite direction?
Yep, absolutely. And that's why it's something I'm still grappling with.
So it sounds to me like you may want to explore that as a potential route for growth.
Yep. I will be exploring it in rooms that feel safe enough if I ever find them, and or if I build them myself so that I can. I don't know if I consider this room the right qualities to be able to support me in that growth.
It's a very unique space.
It is, but so is that growth for me is a very tender thing as well.
Indeed.
Assuming Cynthia is tuning into.
I agree.
What about this space to you feels not safe?
I got into a power struggle with Cray like 10 minutes ago, and Cynthia said it was boring, and that's okay. But it means that that type of power struggle is less welcome because it's some boring for Cynthia, and I care about her tenderness. I also think that the correct environment for helping someone gain strength is challenge that is sort of on or just outside of their ability to lift. And I think that Cray can sometimes be too strong and overpower, and that's actually disempowering for my tenderness that needs to possibly grow up. So yeah, I think this might be the wrong room in certain dimensions.
Do you feel like you need to have power over Cray in order to get what you want in your interactions with him?
I notice a bunch of different patterns to bypass Cray's bullshit. And I don't think playing out my patterns more actually helps me. And so if he keeps dragging me into my patterns, I just do the same thing. He calls me a clown. And, you know, to the extent that I'm a clown in his presence, I'm not actually changing that because he doesn't know how to change his style. And so I don't know how to be something else in response to him. And he can't demonstrate it, so I can't learn it. And so we're stuck in shitty dynamics.
You said he can't learn to change his style. Is that true? Is that true, Cray?
No, I don't know. It's up to him whether he wants to push back on me.
This is my personal preference. I don't want to change my style in response to somebody else's, what I consider their smallness.
Sure.
So if somebody's saying, I can't do what you want me to do unless you change, I'm like, then you're never going to get to do what you want to do then.
No, yeah, there was a cross there. I'm never going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, but I'm never going to do what you want me to do because you're the one imposing the desire for change. But I'm also curious about Cynthia. I put tenderness and smallness very close to each other, and Cray's saying, I'm not willing to permit a smallness to exist. And I'm wondering if
I did not say that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Cynthia feels that blocks some of the tenderness, or if you have a different perspective.
I notice I'm still like really struggling to like find this watchable or like listenable, or I don't know why it's so hard for me to be around. And I'm just with that experience. And
it's talking heads. There's no lower chakras online.
I don't experience this as talking heads.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm not saying this definitively. This is my opinion.
Sure. I experience some very subtle, very lower body tenderness. And you can say that it's talking heads because there's nothing going on above that except for the voice. But I do experience a lot of quietness and a lot of little things down there speaking up. I don't know. I'm open to other people having different experiences to that.
How kind of you.
You're welcome, Craig.
Elliot, you know, your voice kind of has that magenta color that we talked about.
Interesting.
But can you hear that there's sort of this edge to your voice, which is quite low pitched?
Yeah.
And then there's this sort of a rounder sound, which is high pitched.
Frederica, if you want something to happen, you're going to have to step out on stage.
No, I know.
Make your presence known and take what you want.
That's
I hear Trey wants you to flash your tits, but I think that's disrespectful. So
that's not. I think that's not what I heard. I came here from a very nice nap that was very needed, and I have a lot of calmness. And I listened to you, and I felt a lot of different emotions listening to you, and I felt very relaxed. And my normal tendency would be to find control and structure in this and what is going on, and I want to understand and kind of linking the dots. And what has been happening for me is just like Cynthia described, like a flow. So I did have feelings to what I heard, and I didn't feel like I needed or wanted to step in at that time because everyone is having their own experiences as well. I do just maybe one point to what you shared on the executive phase, or I don't know how, the executive presence. I believe there is a lot of good things in smiles. I understand that maybe for you it's a mask, and it's like overcoming uncomfortable moments or trying to connect with people out of maybe not the right intentions. But in a boardroom with people, there are different ways how you can show up in power, and smile and kindness in the right moments are very powerful. And I understand that you're trying on different masks, and it's brave and courageous and makes sense to me. But remember that, at least for me, find like you being your authentic self in a setting and not letting yourself be put in a frame in the workplace of this is the alpha male way of being and this is how you will succeed. And I'm sure you can find your own way in stepping up into your executive power by staying who you are. This is just
You're not going to see what happened last week, Alton. I'll bet money on it.
Yeah, because of where she's at now and the trajectory of. Okay.
What were you hoping to see?
I was hoping to see you embodied.
I make up that the other people who are speaking are dragging you into a place that is.
No. They're not dragging. They're setting up a template, and she's buying into it.
Mm-hmm.
Same template was presented to Justin, and Justin did it, in my world, a small miracle, and told it to go fuck itself.
I mean, for me, I don't have like a pressing point where I'm like, I want to step into a certain way of being. I came out of curiosity, and
you're going to leave in 30 minutes, and you will have the experience of whatever you wanted to generate in this space.
Yes.
And that's on you.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to go out feeling like you just came from a great nap, that's fine.
That's a big improvement for me, to be honest. I slept horribly the last week, so I'm very happy for that.
Good. I hope you get your nap experience.
And I'm being more awake now already. So I feel some warmth in my body and a little bit of anxiety coming up and sweaty hands. So I guess I'm stepping out of that relaxation mode now.
What worked, Alton?
A direct challenge, a hope.
Indirect challenge.
But I also don't want to please like something that you want to evoke. You know, I want to have things come out of my own desire.
Then don't let it happen.
Exactly, out of in my intuitive. And this should be intrinsic, is what I'm trying to say.
Counter-dependent.
You ever try to do a ballroom dancing and just do it your way and not pay attention to your partner?
Yes, it's very hard for me to dance with a partner and give up my control. So
Yep.
definitely.
So would you say that is a satisfying ballroom dance experience for you? Going along with the way that you believe you need to be in control?
It's a template, it's a frame, and
does it give you what you want out of the dance?
For me,
that's a yes or no question, ma'am.
Well, the question is, what do you intend to experience in a dance, right? If it's surrendering, then no.
Are you satisfied with what you get in a ballroom dance when you hang on to your desire for control?
No, probably not.
Probably? You don't know?
No, I get
Someone isn't. Yeah. Just say no, I don't.
No, I don't.
It's amazing when you follow a lead, Frederica. It is amazing.
What comes up for me is, yes, and as long as the lead is competent.
Yes. Is that are you giving me a strange kind of compliment?
No, it was a strange kind of insult. Correct.
No,
good.
It wasn't an insult. It wasn't even, I didn't think of you right now in this moment. I thought of,
damn.
I'm sorry, I didn't think of you. I thought about men in my life and how when I can surrender and when I can trust, because this was my comparison to the ballroom. And for me, it feels like it has to do with finding the other person competent enough to let go and not be in control.
Can I give you an esoteric, can I give you a piece of esoteric teaching, Frederica?
You're more than invited.
So if you really want to experience what letting go, surrender is, you have to do it with an incompetent top.
I did that many times and I failed miserably.
No. Yeah, but you have to be willing. You have to be willing that they're, by your standards, they're freaking up amazingly. They're doing it completely wrong, and you don't try to make it right. You just be the willow in the wind. Just be exactly who you are. Don't try to change anything. You can cry, you can curse, you can scream, you can do anything you want. Just don't re-exert control. Tell yourself, no matter how incompetent they are, you're going to stay for your time and let them lead. When the dance is done, then you can kill them.
I think,
yeah.
Something that came up for me from, I had a conversation with Cynthia yesterday on something that now comes up for me is about people being human. And as in like, we have flaws and I try to not have these flaws, and I believe that others should also try to live up to their highest standards. And then whenever they don't, then I'm like, kind of.
I really want Justin to step up. And I'm curious, Frederic, if you were to follow Justin as leader, what qualities does he lack and what qualities does he really embody?
I think I mean, my feeling right now from how I know Justin over a Zoom call of the past 10 minutes is that I would enjoy a dance with him. I think it would feel light. I think I could feel myself. I wouldn't feel judged or criticized. I think I would feel safe and joyful is my feeling.
Is there something you want to feel?
Sorry?
Well? Is there something else you would want to feel with that? Like, I want a more spicy dance. I don't know what you want.
I think with Justin, this is a perfect way of dancing for me.
Justin, whatever you're getting distracted on, whatever I think you're getting a little bit drunk on something, that's the thing you're looking for. So you again, don't say anything to anybody, but whatever that is, look at it, feel it, try to get more nuances about it, because that's something that's real for you in this moment that you may not have permitted yourself to acknowledge anywhere else. This is a little temple space here. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I feel a deep sense of appreciation and love hearing that. So thank you.
Go back to your drunkenness, please. Your intoxication. That's if you're being intoxicated by what I think you're being intoxicated by, it's the quality of the velvet and what's really cool about velvet is there's a right way to stroke it. But I think that you're going to enjoy stroking it, quote, the wrong way. And then go back to the right way. You're going to enjoy that play there.
Yeah.
Nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
I want to check on Cynthia, who seems to have her eyes closed.
What do you want to know?
Bigger so I can see them bigger.
I want to know where you're hiding, and I'm curious as to why.
Name with that.
I don't experience myself as hiding. I experience myself as being present, and closing my eyes helps my brain to not have so much data coming in that I get distracted from my awareness of being here, or my awareness of awareness or presence. So I'm actually more present with my eyes closed. It's my experience.
It's also my experience of Cynthia. I don't experience her as hiding. And I'm wondering, it's for me, Elliot, I don't know you, but it's like the second or third time where I feel like what comes up for me is wanting to control. And what came up for me earlier was also that I feel like you said that you didn't want the space to be vulnerable for you, that it's not a safe space for you to feel like you can grow. And what I'm observing is that you're like picking on some people's things and trying to stir something up there without putting yourself in the ring.
Okay.
Does this resonate, or can you relate to that?
For me, there are moments that I find myself more vulnerable and moments of less vulnerable. But it also sounds like you're giving me an invitation to step into the ring in a particular way, but I'm not sure how. Do you have a specific about how you'd like me to step in?
I mean, for me, I know the feeling of discomfort, and this is normally where this growth happens, If I'm all in my lovey-dovey space, then I won't actually be able to. And when I focus on other people, it's what is coming up for them rather than what is coming up for me, then I don't get the most out of it myself too. So I'm wondering what it takes for you to feel that you can put yourself in the ring in the place of discomfort and even feeling unsafe, whatever that means for you, right? Because that's very subjective. What you need to feel that you are in the right frame to grow. So it's more an invitation to feel into the discomfort and going a step further there and opening yourself up for your own topics.
I can step into discomfort. Sometimes I just can't find discomfort. But yeah.
What I felt with Cray is that you mentioned something around power dynamics. That sounded to me like you were protecting yourself and defending. That sounds like discomfort. It doesn't feel like a place where you...
Careful, Justin, careful.
It's a place where you are, putting yourself up for it and letting this mechanism in you take power over what is actually helpful for you.
Yeah. I name power dynamics on the back of Cray naming power dynamics. Or Cynthia.
I have a story that, Elliot, that there's a way that you feel that I get you, or that I might be able to get you, that I might be able to see and resonate and understand or identify or something. Parts of you that want to be seen and met, and that you have a sense that whatever I might find, I would treat it tenderly, and that's appealing to you.
And I also felt a slight shift in your being now to before. I felt you're more soft and more receiving.
What I experienced with you, Frederica, is you were so ready to say that it didn't actually land in you. Like his resonating body, you kind of jumped on it.
Oh, so I was too fast.
A little too fast.
Like the bunnies. Cynthia tells me that I have 20 bunnies that are constantly keeping me busy. So just for you to know the joke.
We all know how bunnies keep busy.
Yeah, but I think.
But can I please have a minute so I can mess with Justin a little bit?
Please. Stage is yours.
Thank you. Justin, you know chakras, right?
Yeah.
They're all, theoretically, they're all made of the same quality. It's not like you're going to have the qualities of your sixth chakra are not going to be different than the qualities of your second chakra. They're all made of the same materials. How you can express them and whether you have facility depends on your vocabulary, your practice, your history, la la la. So if she can do that with her head, what do you think her other chakras are capable of doing? Yeah, exactly. What kind of smile was that, Justin? Was that a hiding smile?
Maybe, yeah. I think I numbed out as a reaction there a bit.
So if you hadn't numbed out, what would have happened?
I think I would have just gotten drawn closer.
Why? To what?
To a very unfamiliar idea.
Such as?
The lower chakras.
Of what? Just like as a principle?
Of a feminine.
A feminine? There's two of them in the room.
I mean, Frederic, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. No, not of course. How's that, Justin?
it feels kind of liberating to say it out loud. Yeah.
Good. Okay, thank you. I had fun.
I'm so glad.
I'm really enjoying the flavor of you, Hunter.
Well,
I'm
thank you.
refusing to admit it.
You were going to say something, Elliot?
It's past.
How do we evoke this more on the day-to-day with Frederica in the home?
What do you want to evoke?
This flavor of dance?
Oh, cramp! Oh, God! Ah, shit! Ah! Oh,
Magnesium.
fuck.
You need magnesium.
I have magnesium. I take 1,000 milligrams every morning. God
Good.
damn it! Oh, fuck! That hurt. Jesus!
Is it
Breathe.
Charlie horse?
Breathe.
Shut up! Oh man!
You might want to make sure it's the right type of magnesium and also add zinc and
And
calcium.
in the evening, people should take magnesium in the evening. But
Good.
That too.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
I'm not saying it's not true, but you're assuming they don't know this shit.
Oh. Thanks for telling us that it sounds like you
Why
know
did
this.
you take
shit,
it
but
and
for
you
some
know this?
reason, you're still having cramps, so you must be fucking up.
I had
somewhere.
a cramp. A cramp. I'm
Is this
old.
the only cramp? Yeah.
That's the only cramp I've had in like a week. That was fun. What does that face mean, Justin? What does Frederique's face mean right now? What's your interpretation of that?
Like wonder.
What do you think she could possibly be wondering about?
Maybe trying to understand the dynamics of the conversation or what's happening. I certainly got confused. I didn't know there were cramps involved here.
So, are you wondering about anything, Frederica?
First I was feeling like, how does Cynthia feel when you mentioned the part about the chakras, and then you said, of course, Frederica. I was like, why not Cynthia? I could be Cynthia. Why, like?
Because he's a young kid and he's ageist.
Still,
And you're
I want to-
incredibly beautiful to
I
his
felt-
culture. Now stop it.
No, I felt like that wasn't fair. I felt that was like, I wanted to hug Cynthia and be like, it's our chakra.
Oh, you think Cynthia doesn't know that she's old?
Oh my God, what does this have to
Really?
do with
Yeah,
age?
it's not just that, but it's also that the flow of what was happening was a dynamic with you.
Yes, I know, but this is what was coming up for me, and you were asking me what was like my face expression
Oh.
about. And then I felt sorry for your cramp, and I wanted to
Fuck off.
It's true, and then I wanted you to
Fuck
breathe
off.
into it, and I
Fuck
feel
you.
like you're someone who ignores pain,
Fuck you. Yes, I do.
and that's what came up for me, and then I felt sorry for that, and I hope that you.
Oh, just stop it. Jesus Christ.
And then I was wondering why you would ask the
Huh.
question about my face, and that was it.
Because I'm
And why I'm feeling like a puppet here is like for display, or like, look, Justin, what is happening for you when you look at this creature and like,
yeah.
like objectified.
So what? That's what we do as human beings. We objectify
Yeah,
people.
yeah, that's
You-
just what happened.
Yes. You may not like how I'm objectifying, but
It's
you
okay.
can't
It's
fault
fine
for
for me.
doing
I'm
it.
just saying you asked me what happened for me, and this is what
Oh,
happened
shut
for me.
up. Jesus Christ. I wish you had said I was thinking about pink artichokes.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. It was
Ugh.
more in my head.
You don't have to tell the truth, you know.
I prefer to stick to it. It's more in my automatic response.
Yep, I know. That's what we like from you, your automatic responses.
Well, it's authentic.
Ooh, looks like Jeffrey Dahmer was authentic. Yes, and like Trump is authentic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just
We love authenticity.
okay. Why are you looking at me like that? Because I said okay.
The way that you like.
Cynthia, how can she do that? I don't understand why Frederica can get to that place. Do you have any help for me? Or
What?
should I just
I don't think it's something to, I think there's reasons why we all are the way we are. And
That's
and
you don't have some sort of woo explanation for me why she can do that.
What am I doing?
You're going from one end of the spectrum to the other, which I find very uncommon.
What's the spectrum? Like the heart
If
and
you look
the
at
head, or
if you look at Hunter, Hunter has stayed basically within half a standard deviation of how he shows up. Right? Same with Elliot, same with me. Cynthia a lot. You know, Justin has swung a lot, but you're sitting there and you're like totally Germanic and in your head and Zig Heil, and we have scientists here and we know how to
you
understand
can't
things.
say that.
Why I can, you can't. They'll throw you in jail. Yes, I know that. You know, but then all of a sudden you're like this willowy, sensual, feminine thing, and you're like from here to here.
Okay.
And I'm like, how the hell does she do that? In my world, if the way that you show up is usually pretty stuck for most people, because that's their public face. That's what they've created for themselves. Now, I don't know if you come from a monoculture where having two extremes like that is acceptable or the norm. I find it very startling.
I think, yeah. I think it's a compliment. Being like capable of having flexibility in your being and stepping into different parts of you is, I think, something great.
It is, but most people just talk about it. Most people don't demonstrate it.
Yeah, I'm happy that I can.
I'm happy that you can too.
Thank you.
And Frederica, it's not either pole that I find incredibly yummy. It's your ability to move between the two. That is amazing to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stop it.
For a man who isn't very attached to states, he sure does love something about traveling between them or something.
It's the flexibility in moving between them.
As
That's the
opposed to any particular state, right? Okay.
In my world, that unless she has some like weird idea of her primal character being able to do this, to me that and again, I don't know her culture at all. So in my culture, if you can do that, that means that you're not stuck in a monoculture about that. Like for some weird reason, Hunter has given up his I am the ultimate intelligence. And he's now coming into, well, shit, I think I have kind of a body. Not the way the rest of you have a body, but I will admit to having him. He's doing something like that. And
I had a great conversation with Hunter earlier, where he was basically the ultimate intelligence, making connections all over the place. He's like a wizard.
No, not value to me.
Gray doesn't appreciate the pinball and the wizard.
No, nor the weird movie references either. 7 more minutes.
You don't think you ought to be careful about mentioning the Wizard of Oz around these parts?
It's the Pinball Wizard, Pink Floyd movie.
I approve. I think we ought to leave the subject and move on.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't Pink Floyd.
It wasn't?
What is that, The Who?
Who is The Who?
Yeah, all right, there we go. Talking about my generation there.
I'm old, remember? I remember remember when that came out.
So Paul or John? Or George?
So Hunter, so you got tagged or tapped, and it stimulated it stimulated your some aspect of you, And then that, I think of it as base camp. I think of like you being at home is sort of one place. And then there's what it feels to me is like base camp in your brain. It
Yeah.
feels like like this, like there's a base camp and then everything just, you have like a flourishing that happens in your brain. And so and what I think I experience you doing more or knowing more or something is like, oh, I'm about to go to base camp. And instead of going to base camp, you come back, or you go to base camp and you start to flourish and you go like, ooh, what's that? Let me go back down. So yeah.
I love it when Hunter goes, oh, that's one of my favorite noises coming out of Hunter's mouth. Oh,
Oh, to be understood, Cynthia.
But the flourishing is this brilliancy we're talking about. It's this like, but the flourishing often it feels like it's a tripwire or something, or you go from home to base camp to flourishing, and then you lose home.
And then return to home.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a fucked up question, Hunter? Oops, sorry.
Yeah, it's playing on that edge between sort of the orderly central location, the departure toward chaos, the extension past over the line into the dark, and then back to the center, bringing back what was in the dark.
If you say so.
If you say so, yes, exactly.
So, may I ask you a question, Hunter?
Please.
So, when Elliot says we had a great conversation yesterday, and he was da 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 da, and when you see Frederic go into that place, okay, which do you? Yes. Then once you identify that, how much success do you have? I imagine with Elliot, you're batting 1,000. That when you interact with people that value that kind of dance, you bat pretty damn near 1,000. How successful are you at creating that kind of thing in somebody like Frederica?
Well, I could improve.
That bad?
No, but I have very high standards and aspirations.
But how often is the feminine who's in conversation with you have that kind of experience?
The one where her throat chakra was really sensitive and responsive.
If you, man, Cynthia, I don't know what is. Are you seriously? When she did that thing, you stopped here?
It wasn't from the top down, Craig. It's from the bottom up.
That's where you stopped. So, fine. My desire for you is that you learn how to make that kind of thing happen in a feminine.
Yes.
You can't do it the way that you're getting Elliot. The way that you're dancing with Elliot is not going to work in my book. And I think that for that to have happen, you're going to have to occupy some other place than your mental base camp.
Yes, I agree.
See, that's what could happen, Justin. You could become Hunter.
Oh, God.
Yes, exactly.
I agree. He's got that sternness going on, man. You are getting places.
Was it okay being objectified again, Frederica?
If it's for the benefit of the people, then sure.
Oh, okay.
That's very civic-minded of you.
Yes.
Alton, do you approve?
I'm feeling still very dysregulated about why I find it hard to track this conversation, and I'm speaking with my experience around it.
So, what is the easiest thing for you to track in here, Alton?
What's
Yeah,
something
that
made
right
back?
there.
What is it, Alton?
I mean, yeah, I mean, Federica and the dynamic also with Cynthia and yourself. I care most about the weighting of your words and how those seem to impact me most, and other words seem to like distract me or cause me to
Yes.
associate.
Good. Now all you have to do is from your place assign a flavor or a characteristic or a sound or something to it, so that you know when you hear that sound or smell that smell or have that response, it's like, oh shit, I'm about to get sucked into that place again and I don't want to do it. Not that it's a bad place.
Mhm.
It's just that I would rather be some other place. And if you want to try to understand it, go have a good time.
I see. Yeah, it just feels extremely costly, or more and more costly. And I
Why? Why? Brilliant, but why is it more costly?
don't know. I make up that it just reminds me of parts that I like believe that I've like moved past or something, and then I feel deadened inside.
Bored, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, but the why is gonna just be post hoc, nice sounding story.
Yeah, but if you understand, if you can make up a story about why it's boring to you now, is going to point to what isn't boring.
Okay. I mean, the towards frame is the see Federica's smile or Cynthia's like soft.
No, it's not her smile. The smile is pointing to something else. When she does that smile, you meaning make it, because that's the safety. From here up, it's safe for you.
Mhm.
But you're looking at that smile, and that other part of you is saying something else is happening in another part of her physiology, let's say. And you can hear it, you can feel it.
Mhm.
And that's more important to what Hunter is providing. It has more nutrition to you now. 2 years ago, you wouldn't have seen Frederica. You wouldn't have seen the change that you saw last time. And you and Hunter would have talked up a storm.
Yeah.
That shows
So-
growth.
I don't know if it's growth. It's expansion.
Mm.
What are you smiling about, you horrible old dragon, you?
I'm enjoying the feel of Alton and you interacting with Alton and also interacting with Hunter, sort of. I think that you are affirming something that I experience around Hunter, but you're doing it in a way that is very subtle, but I appreciate it.
And you're just going to make it unsubtle by this putting it out into the world. Gee, thanks a lot, Cynthia.
I think Hunter is not aware of it.
Careful.
Could be.
Might make me change my mind about you, Cynthia.
It's not your mind we're worried about, Hunter.
Well, I wasn't saying it.
Did we end up helping Alton to work out how to travel? Did he bring that up?
It's
No, I think I triggered as soon as you guys arrived. I don't. Yeah, that was one of my original intentions too. I've been enjoying.
Can you
it.
say that, Elliot? Can you put some more meat on that?
It's actually Alton stuff, so it's up to him if he wants to raise it.
I'm asking you. You said something that I think I heard. I think we helped Alton learn how to travel or something.
No.
Like
The question was, did we cover that topic? Because I wasn't.
Okay, never mind. I thought you said something profound.
No, sorry. But like, I can name the context.
I have
Hey,
the
Valter.
desire to travel more easily and more frequently through the world, and I consistently find it very cognitively taxing for me.
I invited Alton to my wedding.
Come to Elliot's wedding.
He is a little bit afraid of, and made uncomfortable about the idea of traveling. And then he said to me that he would bring it to the stream and talk about it, but I don't know if he actually did.
No.
Alton, if you can travel the way you're traveling with Frederica, Australia is an idiotic thing to be afraid of.
I don't know if it was Australia so much as the air travel and airports and long distances and time zones and all of the details. He seemed to describe like booking Airbnbs and then like having them cancel and all sorts of stressful details that he doesn't like.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, but he's your
darlings.
favorite idiot and he's having
Thanks.
problems and he's asking for help.
They're gonna be here before 7.
Is there something specific you wanted to turn towards, Alton, around traveling?
I don't know how receptive I'll be. I mean, again, I think I'm just like most dysregulated. The more upstream thing is like my relatedness with you guys, where I mean, I care about you guys, and then I'm like, oh man, but
He's doing the Justin.
and
Nice.
I find it challenging to be with why there's like a deadness or numbness that comes over me more in connection with you and or Hunter, and I don't like that, but it's present for me. And
So I'm hearing something like you feel responsible for us when we're on stream, and then you don't like how we are, and then you disconnect.
I don't.
No?
Yeah, I mean, I make up there's something in me that could choose to like dance in a way that evokes.
Alton, look over at Frederica. Don't move, Frederica. Look over at her. Feel into that.
Mhm.
See what happens inside, Alton. Now hang on to it. Hang on to it and turn back and engage with Elliot with that presence in you.
Okay.
Yeah, that. It's not going to be Frederica that you're now going to turn to. And that thing in you is going to change because what you're looking at isn't Frederica. Okay. But see if you can hold on to that, the thing that lightens up in you, the thing that becomes more, and see if you can talk from that place to Elliot. Son of a bitch, you're trying.
It breaks my heart imagining missing your wedding because of some crap from the past. And I feel
Okay, hold on, Alton. Frederica, I'm going to objectify you a bit. Hang on. Your hand is in Frederique's hair. Are you softly caressing it and being gentle? Stop being gentle. Stop being gentle. You're trying to bring forth the animal that is awakened by what Frederica is doing, and you're trying to interact with Elliot from that place. That is not it. Okay? That coping skill that you're doing on the side of your face, that's not it.
Yeah.
Good. I believe you know what I'm talking about.
I am just conceptualizing it, and it's something that's definitely, yep, I will.
Mm-hmm. Frederic, make sure that he tells you what he would have told Elliot if he had had more practice.
Okay.
Don't let him off the hook. You're safe for him. Dangerous, but safe enough. Does the image of your hand in her hair work, Alton?
There's like conflicting, but yes.
Look at her, Alton.
Yeah.
Imagine what you're going to feel like stroking the surface of her hair. Imagine what you're going to feel like with your hand in her hair, clenching it. Don't faint, Justin. Look at that look she's giving you. How does that feel, Alton? When she looks up at you like that? You're not asking her what she means or what's happening to her. You're checking in with how does it feel inside you when she does that? It's your meaning making, it's your interpretation, and you get to feel what you're feeling if you choose.
Hmm.
Still on the planet, Justin?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You okay, Frederica?
Yes, I'm fine.
Yes. As if Broomhilda would, the Valkyrie would be anything but fine.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a Valkyrie is?
No.
He thinks you're
Okay.
formidable.
Huh?
He thinks you're formidable.
Do a Google search.
Yes. I
Okay,
will.
can I go?
Yes, you can go, Cray. Thank you.
Ooh, Justin, did you hear his voice? Boom.
Mm.
That's where you're going to want your voice to go.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you, guys. That was a lot of fun. Hunter
Thank
and
you.
Elliot,
It's been a pleasure. Craig.
I still think highly of you.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
I don't know how. Oh, there it is. Leave.
What a guy.
We'll do 5 minutes on here. I'm still definitely pretty dysregulated from this, and I
But
will-
what I don't get, like, you were bored or you were disappointed, or what were you expecting that didn't happen?
I have a version that's like the tussle between me and Cray was a bit full on, and then Alton kind of checked out a bit, and then couldn't quite find his way back. But I don't know if that's fully true, and I don't want it to be true. I want him
think
to
of-
be.
triggered with like there's a felt sense of just before you guys arrived that there I was really enjoying that thread, and then there's different field or energy of where the conversation went. Not that either of you could have known, nor did I speak up about that or state that, and I feel aggravation internally that it reminds me of many other areas of my life where there's something that was going a very good way that I was very much enjoying, and then I didn't take enough initiative or like indicate that that was very important or important enough for me or protect that, and then I lose it, or like it's gone, or the opportunity cost is enormous, and or I judge it to be enormous. I don't actually know how it would have gone, but like that's my predictive model. And then I didn't know how to be like, I'm not enjoying this. And
And what did you actively do to change that? Nothing, right?
the existential kink frame would say I am getting off on it, and masochistically I get to make my friends wrong, and I get to feel self-righteous, and then I got to close tabs in the background, and I really wanted to do that this whole time. But that seems like it's probably not, I mean, the conscious way to go about it.
Alton, I feel sad. Like, I want to be able to advocate for smaller Alton, the small voices of wanting other things, but I had no idea that you were having such a like I want something else experience. I can't advocate for it if I didn't know, and I'd love to be able to bring more of you.
Right. Thanks.
Hey.
It is still on
Like
my-
really, I want to be on your side, and I want to be more on the side of those little things. I don't know how. I wish I could do more, and I'd like to believe Hunter and Justin as well want to like bring more of Alton.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, and I can blame myself for that. And also, like, I don't know. I still don't know how, even if I do that.
Thanks. yeah, I see. It's really, I mean, I think I'm mostly dysregulated because it's totally like on me to step up and not have that make you both wrong for something that's
I like.
I couldn't
I wouldn't
communicate.
mind if you can make me wrong. Make me wrong because then you'll be making something, and then we can work with like working out how to make it more respectful in the world. And like, you wouldn't want to
well,
make
that's true.
everyone
That's
wrong.
easy. I can speak from that part. Elliot,
Great.
how come with all of your meditative mindfulness background practices, you didn't pick up on me being all quiet and being like, hey, Alden, what happened to the things that you weren't saying earlier?
Right.
And I imagine you were talking about something. Loop me into those things.
Great.
And how dare you come onto this and not attune to me and read my mind? And wow, this is such a something.
Do it like
I
it's no big deal.
Pardon?
Do it like it's no big deal, and you're just doing it.
Yeah, if there's a frame around Asian status culture, it is important to like defer always to like the person who there's like a clear power window or dynamic and like setup. And then not being able to communicate that feels bad or wrong or something.
Yeah, I also want you to feel safe to be able to outlast this stuff and like transmit it. And then later you can work out how to be healthier around it. But step 0 or step 1 is like being able to even say anything, like speak up. And that may be like, I want Alton to be angry at me and express the anger.
Mm.
And then I'll feel like we're in a dance, and then we can work out how to be something else about that anger. But I want, like, if I'm like, oh, any aliveness from Alton is better than no aliveness, like, yeah, it's gonna come out ugly to me. Like, okay, that's fine. That's on me.
Yeah, and more present to like again the Asian status culture things where like to make a lashing out thing would be like very low status, or like anger equals uncontrollable, dangerous entity. Mark them as untrustable.
Is there a high status version of expression?
Yes. They would just reassert the outcome.
Right. So instead, you're doing this middle one, which is to stay silent.
Yeah, I don't think it's a middle one. I think it's pretty low status. So
okay.
Oh, I know. I guess yeah. It's less bad low status. Okay. Yeah.
Alton, I want you to be higher status with us. Like, be more awesome.
Maybe if you're more affected by it, the magnitude of the violation is larger, and therefore the magnitude of the debt.
Okay, that's true. I could telegraph that. I mean, no, yeah.
Well, no. Allowing it to affect you makes the significance of it larger. I mean,
yeah. Not Asian status game, but I don't endorse that even either to begin with. So okay, cool.
I want to say
that's the point. I think I could like let my heart break more loudly about it.
Yeah, maybe then it would break less. You could just say, "Yeah, this isn't really what I wanted to do. Come on, let's go over here instead." And there we are. You know.
I want to say hey to Cynthia. Thanks for being on stream.
No, well, I appreciated the connection. I felt you also more grounded and embodied than I think I've ever experienced you.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good. Congratulations on getting married.
We got 30 days to go until we get married. So super excited. And I have to plan details of weddings. So that's a little stressful. But I'm trying to enjoy the process as well.
I feel happy for you. I feel excited for you.
Can you do me a favor and help Alton work out how to get to Australia emotionally? Like logistically, it's not particularly that difficult, but to get him emotionally to feel comfortable visiting would be wonderful.
Thanks. I'm gonna complete the live stream, but then I'll